Welcome to the Dogs Are the Best Friends podcast. I'm Emily, and my best buddy, Flynn, is here too. Happy Valentine's Day. That means you love your pal, and my Flynn is my pal, and I know you feel the same way about your dog as well. Hey, we are crazy for the canines here. Today's guest, Jacob, was not too sure about his now fiance's dog. It was a wild dog, basically, and you'll hear about that. Here is today's trivia. What is the state dog for North Carolina? Can the dog of the person you're dating make or break your relationship? Have a listen. Enjoy his stories. I know you will. I'm so glad that you're here today, Jacob, to share your story about you and Honey. And it sounds like it wasn't a smooth transition in the beginning.
So several years ago, I met the person who is now my fiance. And shortly after we started dating, I actually went to their house for the first time. Was going to meet the dog. It was kind of like, take you home, meet the kids, except it's the dog. And I met Honey. She's a pit bull mix. I think she has some Ridgeback and some maybe boxer in her. But I met Honey, and she was more energetic than any dog I'd ever seen.
Wow.
She had this rope toy that she loved. And if you were within 3 feet of her while she was playing with this rope toy, it would cause you physical pain because she was swinging it around so much and with such force.
That's a great visual. We could see that because any dog lover knows they've seen dogs in the frenzy of playing with their toy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, this was like unlike anything I had ever seen before. And I grew up with dogs, so I'm not, I wasn't new to having dogs as pets. And my immediate reaction was, oh my goodness. She was really excited. There's a new person in the house. She has her toy. It was a whole thing. And eventually we would go on hikes with her, and she was always really energetic, really rambunctious. But then the time came when Ruben, my fiance, said, all right, I'm going to come over. Do you mind if I bring the dog to your house? And I think my whole body clenched up.
Oh.
I was like, oh my goodness, I just bought this new sofa. It's going to get destroyed, all these things. And I say, yeah, of course, it's fine. The two of them get to my the apartment that I was living in at the time, and we make dinner together. And about 7:00, we're on the sofa watching TV, and Ruben leans over to me and says, "You know that Honey has to sleep in the bed with us, right?"
Oh no!
And I said, "Excuse me." So that ended up happening, and it was probably the worst night of sleep I ever had in my entire life, because what she does is she gets in the middle of the bed, smack in the middle, and stretches out horizontally so that she is on all sides of the bed at once, pinning the covers down. And I'm sitting there like all night, just kind of like pushing her with my foot a little bit.
Right.
To try to, get some covers for myself. So Honey's comes over, starts coming over with some regularity with Ruben. And we eventually, several months later, we go to Charleston to visit Ruben's parents. And Honey, of course, is coming with us.
Right.
Because she has to.
Right.
And we are at Ruben's parents' house. We get to the guest bedroom, and the bed it's a double bed. So not even a queen size bed. It's a small bed.
Wow. Yeah.
For 2 people.
And she's not small, right? Like, how big is she?
She's like 60 or 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Good size. She's a big dog.
Yeah.
and she's pure muscle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we look at this double-sized bed, and I look at Ruben and I say, there's no way she's sleeping in the bed with us. There's no possible way.
Right.
Um, so there was a lot of tension early on.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, you know, oh, I really love Ruben, and then there's this dog.
Right.
Um, but um, at one point, Ruben was flying to Texas to go visit some family, and I was staying home. I wasn't going on the trip, and it was me and Honey for
Yeah.
about a week.
Okay.
Um, and it probably took like 5 minutes of us being alone to, spend some time together, and that dog won me over.
Oh, wow.
I
That's quick.
suddenly, it was really quick. I suddenly was like, oh my goodness, like she's such a sweetheart.
Uh,
Like, I'll be working all day because I work from home, and she's sitting at my feet all day.
uh,
Or we're gonna, go for a walk, and like that's just the thing that makes her day.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So how did
but
she do
mhm,
it though? Like what did she do? Was she just so snuggly and so sweet that she just like honey? Did she just win you over
yeah,
that way, you think? Or okay,
she
yeah.
has she has two settings. There are two settings that this dog has, on and off.
Okay.
Um, when she is on, she is on. It is full energy, full excitement, beside herself, kind of frenzy. And off, when she's off, she is curled up with you. She loves to be under the blankets. She loves to be under pillows. She loves to snuggle up with you no matter what you're doing or where you are. Um, so obviously the offsetting, I was fine with that. I loved
Right.
that so much.
Right.
Um, but it was mostly a process of coming to love that on setting.
Right.
Um, you
That's
know,
huge. Yeah.
that frenzied pure energy, and come to kind of figure out not how I can manage her energy, but how we can kind of um figure out the best way to interact and engage. And it was it was really a matter of setting firm boundaries um with her, and honey, no, we can't, it's not playtime.
Right.
um and then kind of figuring out creative ways to hide her toy when it was not playtime, because she can smell that toy from a mile away.
Right.
She sees you put it away, she knows exactly where it is. She's not dumb.
Right. Right. So this is really interesting. So was it it must have been a stress point between you and Ruben because that's hard. Like when you're a crazy dog person, like me, like if I'm going to date somebody, they better be crazy about my dog too, or at least be able to come to some point where they can coexist peacefully and not, and I don't really want that. You want it beyond that. You want the other
Mhm.
person to love your dog like you do or close to it. So that must have been a little stressful in your relationship, you know?
It was early on in our relationship. I came across some article somewhere online that said 80% of dog owners would choose their dog over their partner.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Also, yikes, that's
Yeah.
scary. um,
True.
so for me, it was a major stress point, in a lot of ways. Also, I, have a cat as well.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was a matter of managing that. And,
Yeah.
to start off with, it was, keeping them 100% separate. And now it's just, they're fine around each other.
Are they good? So it's not like
Yeah.
Honey wanted to eat your cat,
Honey
literally.
doesn't want to eat the cat. She wanted to
Okay.
play with the cat.
Okay.
And the cat did not want to play with her.
Okay. And what kind of silly things would you say? Like, what does Honey do that's kind of silly and fun that you just enjoy? That's just uniquely her.
I would, so she is, like I said, very energetic and also very sweet and cuddly. She is very particular about her sleep setup, where she sleeps. So, we let her in the bed now, while we're watching TV or something, but she doesn't sleep in the bed with us anymore.
Okay.
Because that was a pretty firm boundary that had to be set.
Yeah.
Um,
Understandable.
so now Honey has this lovely memory foam dog bed with an electric blanket,
Wow.
and a body pillow.
Wow.
And if
Nice.
that electric blanket is not on, she lets us know. And I had, growing up, I had always had long-haired dogs. So this is the first time I realized, oh, dogs get cold.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm used to, the dogs, getting overheated or hot from lying in bed or on the sofa.
Right.
Um, so she's very, very particular about, what she needs in order to have a good night's sleep.
Right. I love it. She's a prima donna. I love that.
She really is. And I think the other unique thing about her, and it's kind of goofy, is she makes sounds that I've never heard dogs make before.
Really?
Like they're very human sounds. And
Oh,
I'm
wow.
I'm not gonna imitate them because I'm gonna spare you that.
Right.
But it's like it sounds more like a human is, whining or wanting something than a dog.
Right. Right.
Um
Interesting. So do you think it's almost like she's trying to sound human to communicate better with you guys? Or
Absolutely.
yeah,
Oh,
okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
I love it. So she's very smart, trying to
Yes.
figure things out. And she probably could tell that Ruben really liked you. And so she was willing to, try to make things work too. Like both of you were, if you think about it, kind of
Oh,
coming at it that way.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um she has always really liked me, which was kind of part of that weird, transition of her winning me over because, she was, trying to love me and I was like, oh, back off. But I think that was actually a big piece of it is kind of me coming to, meet her in the middle there.
Right. Right. And it's so important. Like from Ruben's perspective, I can imagine that just made him so happy when he came back from that trip and you guys had bonded finally. And,
Hmm.
right? It's got to make him like feel so much better because the two beings that he cares about,
Hmm.
finally seemed to get it and they clicked.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was, when we were talking about moving in together, because we now live together, I was kind of concerned because I was like, I work from home all day long, and you're going off to work, and you know, I was kind of scared of, having to, juggle another thing throughout the workday.
Sure.
Um, but it ended up being honestly amazing. She we really keep each other company throughout the workday.
Uh,
And if she's not, at my feet, she is in the chair in my office, or she's like right outside the door on the sofa staring at me.
love
she
it.
she very much wants to be where the people are.
Right. Right. So do you think you guys will get another dog eventually to like keep her company or is she like a single dog?
I think she's a single dog.
Okay.
I think we're definitely a single dog household.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she is a prima donna, so she might not want competition like that. I was just wondering if that would
Yeah.
help wear out the energy level. Because how old is she again? I'm sorry. What is she?
She's about 7 years old.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
still going strong.
Oh yeah. She's
Yeah. Yeah. Too fun. So you had dogs growing up, like your whole
Hmm.
childhood then. And
Yes.
so did you ever bond with any of those dogs quite a bit, or were they just like nice family dogs that you loved, but you didn't have that same kind of bond that you have now?
Oh, I absolutely was so close to them.
Uh,
The one that stands out was, a pug that my parents adopted right about the time I was born.
oh wow.
So and he was a puppy when they adopted him. So we kind of grew up together.
Oh nice.
So when he
Yeah,
passed I think I was 12 years old, that was really, really heartbreaking. And then
absolutely.
the other dog that I, bonded with so much was, his name is Bo. He's a English setter mix, and he's a beautiful, beautiful dog. And he's still alive,
Oh wow.
today. Yeah, he's probably about 10 or 11 now. My parents
Wow.
got him when I was, kind of transitioning out of, high school. So it's really, really good to, go home and see Bo again.
Yeah. Do you have any words of encouragement for other dog owners or other people in a similar situation as you? Like, what would you recommend they do to help you understand the dog better and, help bond with the dog?
Yeah, so it really comes down to not training and obedience, but the relationship. And there's, two things that both humans and dogs need, I think. One of those is calmness. So, even when Honey or your dog is, misbehaving or doing crazy things, I've never found that, getting myself riled up or angry ever solves anything in that regard.
Right.
It's really about staying calm and kind of because your dog can feel that energy coming off of you.
Absolutely.
More than you realize. And the other thing is consistency and routine. I am such a creature of habit myself. And what's been really important for Honey has been her routine. So, when I get up in the morning, because sometimes Ruben's already gone to work, I feed her, give her water, take her out. And having the consistent routine has really helped us manage her energy levels.
Right. Yeah.
Because she knows what to expect.
I love what Jacob shares there. Calm, consistency, and routine. We need that, and dogs need that, for sure. Are you ready for the answer? For today's trivia, this information comes from the North Carolina Museum of History. Here's a great quote. No matter how little money and how few possessions you own, having a dog makes you rich. Louis Sabin. Johannes Platt came from Germany in 1750 with 5 dogs. He made his way west across the state of North Carolina, moving from present-day Warren County and eventually settling in Lincoln County in 1784. Now, he changed his name as he went along, and his name became George. He raised a family, and then George's son, Henry, moved to the current-day Haywood County around 1800, and the Platt descendants continued to refine the breed that would become known as the Platt Hound. These dogs are known for their tracking and hunting skills and are recognized for being fearless. The Platt Hounds became the official state dog of North Carolina on August 12th, 1989. So there's your answer. Go ahead and stump somebody with it. Have some fun. See if they know their history of North Carolina. I chose this dog in particular because Jacob and Honey are from North Carolina. I wish you blessings and peace and a good week with your pup. Flynn says hello, and we'll see you next week.